Good afternoon, Stephen.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us here at our SFM headquarters in Montreal and for accepting to answer a few questions and give us some foresight in the business. So, first question, what does this rebranding we recently announced reveal about Midwich's vision for creating a cohesive global network while preserving the local expertise that made SFM successful in the first place?
Yep, that's a very good question. We've debated our naming strategy for quite a few years. The Midwich Group's been built up over the years from a collection of specialist, very highly reputed businesses in lots of different countries. And by and large, we've tended to keep the name because they're associated with the local market. As the group's become bigger, I think the Midwich name itself has become quite well known around the world, and hopefully has a really strong reputation. So over time, we've come to the conclusion that we should rename some of our lead country businesses under the Midwich name. The benefits of that, I think, is particularly for our global customers and vendors who will recognise that when they're dealing with a company in a country, it's the Midwich, and they get the association of that group name and the group reputation.
Right. So, leading off on that, how will this brand alignment help Midwich compete more effectively in the market itself, especially when dealing with the global customers, as you were saying earlier, who may work in multiple companies, with multiple companies in the group?
Yes, I think it does help by our big sort of international integrators knowing that when they're dealing with a company in a country, then they're dealing with Midwich, and they would get the same quality and service that they would expect. I think it's also useful for our suppliers, our vendors, and when they look and see who they're trading with. If they're trading with a company under the Midwich name, then they recognise that it's all part of one group, and there's a sort of association there with the quality of the business.
Yeah, it's the consistency. So bringing it home now, what specific business advantage does Midwich expect to gain from having SFM here in Canada adopt the unified brand identity, particularly in terms of cross-selling opportunities and vendor relationships?
Yeah, I think so. We've only renamed businesses where we get a real interest in doing so from the local management and the local team. So it is part of it is a group, it's a sort of consensus opinion. I think for when we're dealing with local companies that are operating on a global stage, or even locally, just locally, then they will recognise that they're dealing with a major international distributor, and all the sort of financial security and the quality that brings. Midwich Group is a PLC, it's a public company in the UK market. I think that comes with a degree of propriety, and hopefully that will give assurance to our customers and our vendors that they're now dealing with a big, a sort of big secure company. That is not to take away the fact that the relationship they have is with the guys locally and our team locally, and that we need to provide a local service that's absolutely top notch, which is, I'm absolutely confident, is what they get from the SFM team currently.